All right. And last time, having made your way through back again once again through the forest to the gates of Kresk, you spent a relatively enjoyable evening of levity with the burgomeister of the village of Kresk. The next morning, he bade you explore the town, although most of you had something else in mind. After visiting a few of the sites, the Abbey sitting high atop the mountain peak, looming over the village, seemed to call to you. After making a couple stops in town, you took the winding road up the mountainside to the Abbey when you approached the gates. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings, to either side of which stretches a 5-foot high, 3-foot thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. And while they appear to be unlocked, viewed through the gates, the stone abbey stands quiet. Its two wings are joined by a 15-foot high curtain wall, a belfry protruding from the rooftop. The closer north wing also sports a chimney billowing gray smoke.
So, is it just me? Is it just too quiet?
I mean, there are the bells.
Hey, obviously someone's here. And the Tens will like make his way towards the gate and just kind of push his way in.
Okay. As you push the gate open, it makes a horrific screeching sound as that rusty metal on the edge of the hinges just.
Yes, serene.
We sure this is a church, yeah?
I mean, what's the difference between an abbey and a church?
Living quarters? Maybe?
I legitimately don't know. Do I look like a religious guy?
I'm also not from here, so I'm guessing.
It's all
Maybe
the
we should
same.
talk to the religious fella.
It's all the same, really. Some have different orders living there. Some don't. Some are just a gathering place,
Well, I hope they have the wine that they've been ordering. I could use a good glass.
As you continue to push through the gateway, a voice calls out from around the corner from one of the gatehouses.
Hello? Who goes there?
Who goes there? What do you mean? You don't know who you're looking at? You are looking at Fortescue's finest. Strike a pose and straighten the jacket.
Rango slams a couple chords out on his mandolin dramatically.
I ain't never heard of a Fortescue's finest. What's your business?
I'm here for the quiet.
You can see from around the corner of the gatehouse a humanoid figure, roughly the size of a person, is sort of leaning over, heavily cloaked, and it's very hard to make out any features.
He's hiding, so I don't like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop a detect thoughts.
Surface level.
Yeah.
Detect thoughts are, who are these people? Are they supposed to be here? He's looking at obviously Cole. From bouncing between the swords and the spear, and just general confusion with a little bit of fear and reluctance.
I guess you could say that we're purveyors of history of the area. Yeah, no, we do have a tendency to go from place to place with travelers when they're in town. Heard this was a fancy abbey. Yeah. Mind if we come in and look? We won't be long.
Make a persuasion check.
23.
23. You can see the figure look across to the other gatehouse. Tens, you catch out of the corner of your eye another figure there, similarly cloaked. Sort of shrug. And,
All right, well, I guess no harm bringing you to the abbot. Maybe he'll show you around.
Sure. I don't mind. Do you have anything to eat? I'm famished.
It's not supper time.
You guys have times when you eat?
Don't you?
Kind of. Whenever I feel it's time to eat, I eat.
I toss a ration over at Tensveta.
He just
Really?
like catches it and puts it in his jacket and like squirrels it away.
Always gotta have a backup snack.
Correct. I've got a couple, and he pulls out an apple and
you can see the individual now as the two of them step out. They are, and their features are revealed. It's hard to discern a race at first, and your mind starts to try to piece together exactly what it is it's seeing. As the individuals seem to be an amalgamation, a mismatch of various animals, humanoid, human features mixed with one of them, the smaller one that's been speaking to you, is almost wolf-like appendages with a bull's tail. Half of his face is almost bat-like with this large ear. The other one, lizard-like in complexion, has scaly bits to his arms. The rest of him is covered in hair reminiscent of an ape or a boar, and it's just grotesque-looking creatures.
well, shall we? And Tens just starts to make his way towards the gate.
Oh, wow.
Those are
Those are
quite.
Those are hot. What are you talking about?
Well, one of them clearly just got out of the shower.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
Mean to interrupt shower time? Is that a thing?
I don't know what you mean by shower time, but if you
Disgusting.
follow us this way,
That's-
we'll take you to the abbot.
Tens is gonna start snapping like behind him, cleaning him up with prestidigitation. Whatever little bit he can see.
They don't seem to notice as they eye you sideways as they bring you to the larger entryway to the Abbey. You can see it now. This curtain wall, 15 feet high, joins these two wings of this Abbey. And behind its battlements, two guards stand at attention, their features obscured by the fog. But below them, set into the walls, a pair of 10-foot tall wooden doors, reinforced with bands of steel. And to the right of these doors, mounted on the wall, is a tarnished copper plaque.
What's it say?
May her light cure all illness.
He's gonna look at the things, look at the plaque, look at the things. They
continue to lead you into a central courtyard The courtyard is, the thick fog that fills it is swirls as the doors open, as if eager to escape. The courtyard itself is surrounded by those 15-foot high walls on which stand several guards with their backs to you. Or so it seems at first. It's clear now, as you look up, that the guards, as the mist sort of clears, are actually just scarecrows. To the north, a set of wooden doors and east lead to the Abbey's two wings. In the center of the courtyard is a stone well fitted with an iron winch, to which a rope and a bucket are attached. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhanging wall, are several stone sheds with padlocked wooden doors, as well as 3 shallow alcoves that contain wooden troughs. 2 wooden posts pounded into the rocky earth have iron rings bolted to them, and chained to one of them is a short humanoid with bat wings and spider mandibles.
Where's that one at?
That would be over here. Sorry.
Ash is gonna kind of bump Tensveta and just kind of tap the side of his temple, and then make a motion of like discreetly pointing at the guy that's chained to the pole.
Yeah, if it hasn't been a full minute yet, I'm gonna see if I can catch at least surface thoughts. If it's been a minute, it's too late. But...
Which one?
On the one that's chained.
Surface thoughts. I'd say you're just creeping towards the end of your minute time, and the as it does immediately, it's just food, and this insatiable hunger. The silence of the courtyard is broken as you hear from one of the little sheds this horrific scream. The other 2 look at you and say,
I don't mind them. Abbott's teaching them a lesson in behavior.
Well, what behavior were they doing that they needed a lesson? I just want to make sure that we're...
Well, caught stealing food, most likely.
Oh, yeah, that seems fair.
You must forgive my companions, Mr. Ash. This is most rude to ask such questions. We are strangers in this house.
I'm just trying to make sure that we don't impose upon them, and that we're trying to be, courteous to their customs and their rules.
Although Durango's made quite a show of being totally unfazed by the appearance of their host, he's giving Ash a very pointed look right now, like toe the line.
You just get that raised eyebrow, like, yeah, doy.
Sort of as he's walking, Cole's hand is sort of matching the sway of his morning star.
So I'm just gonna talk about the amalgamation in the room. Yeah. You obviously don't look the same as most people outside of the Abbey. Is that normal? Like, wow, it's actually almost as if I can't hear you either.
you can see, like, sort of ashamed.
Yeah,
And he, like, starts to cover himself, tries to pull that cloak around himself to hide. Pulls the hood up.
Not trying to be rude. I don't have a problem with it. I've seen weirder. Trust me.
well, you don't exactly look like folk around here either, but,
Yeah, I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just curious. Like, that one's hungry, and he points over to the spider mandible bat wing guy, and he, like, what do you eat? Does this change? Like, I am very curious. Does this actually change how you like your internal stuff here? Like, are you hungry for something other than like the typical foods?
Hey, excuse him. He doesn't make it to churches very often. He's not from here.
Speak for yourself.
Land of fuckery and all.
we consider it a form of penance, but we eat normal food, just like you, and just like, well, I assume, I don't know. What do you eat?
Me?
He looks around.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes another bite of his apple with a loud crunch. I mean, And he pulls out another apple and offers it to the guy. You want an apple?
He looks around quickly. A clawed hand reaches out from underneath the cloak and just like greedily grabs it and cradles it before tucking it away quickly.
Oh, thank you.
They feeding you here?
We eat when it's time to eat, when we're told we can eat.
So, like, daily?
Mostly.
How many of you are here?
And as he goes to speak, the door opens to the Abbey. The second figure that was with you opens the door, and out walks what appears to be it's actually a handsome young man in a brown monk's robe. Beside him, he gently takes a woman's hand as she follows him outside. A painted wooden holy symbol depicts a large sun that hangs from a chain around his neck, and he moves with the grace of a saint. You can see as he bounds and just gracefully walks toward all of you in the courtyard, puts a single hand on the shoulder of the creature speaking to you. Well, that'll be enough. Thank you. We will see to our guests.
Yeah, of course, sir.
And you can see the two of them bound away back towards the gatehouse.
Bye, I guess.
Well, adventurers, yes, travelers, welcome to the Abbey of Saint Markovia.
Sort of gesture at the medallion hanging from his neck and go, finally, putting on airs. Finally, some sense of sanity in this mad land, and I flash the symbol on the front of the shield.
Ah, I see. A fellow worshipper. Excellent. Well, what is it we can do for you? We are but a humble institution here. Ah, and of course, where are my manners? Vasilka, greet our guests. You can see the young woman. She doesn't speak, but she like awkwardly curtsies and bows before you. And in that moment, you can tell that her through her pale complexion that there are stitches, as if pieces were sewn together to create her body. Excellent. You're coming along well. He smiles, beaming from ear to ear. Anyways, what is it we can do for you?
That was quite the introduction, my friend. I, of course, am the great Durango Fortescue. These are my companions, Fortescue's finest. We are strangers to this land, collectors and sharers of tales.
I'm gonna bow, and as I'm I'm gonna stomp on Tensvet's foot. Stop scrolling.
Ow. Hi.
If the name doesn't sound familiar, we're the purveyors of the special shipment you received a day ago. You might have noticed the name on the barrels.
I see. So you provided the wine, so you have some connection to the winery. But see, I think I know why you've come. I mean, I know why you've been brought here. So let me ask this instead. What is it you seek here from us?
Ash is gonna flip his arm out from under the coat, and it's gonna be scaled, like reptilian scales. Somebody said you might be able to help.
He eyes you up and down. A
We heard
good
this
trip,
Abbey.
but unfortunately, not one that I think I would be able to help you with.
Well, these guys are more history buffs than me. But that's all I needed.
I'd say, my friend, it does not take eyes as precise as the great Durango Fortescue to ascertain that you have quite a tale to tell of this place. The people who dwell within.
Yeah, I'd like to hear those stories.
Perhaps there is some mutual benefit here. If it's a story you're looking for, then of course we could perhaps do with a story, but I do as well have a request of all of you. But come, let us sit and talk.
On the way, Tins is going to telepathically, or at least attempt to telepathically connect to the woman, and just say, "Stomp twice if you're in pain."
The creature looks around, or the woman looks around, and narrows her eyes at you, but doesn't stomp, just continues to walk beside the abbot. He takes her hand and gestures for all of you to enter into the door.
As he's wont to do, he's chest puffed out, proudly walking into there.
Tins will just kind of nod and thanks and step in, I guess.
Yeah, Ash is just along to the right at this point. Thoroughly off put that the guy was unfazed.
So as you enter, gentle sounding music trickles down from above you, played on a single stringed instrument by some unseen master. The ground floor is one large 50-foot square room with arched leaded glass windows, a cauldron sitting on an iron rack above a fire and a hearth, and above the fireplace hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. In one corner, a wooden staircase climbs to the upper level, while in another corner, a stone staircase descends below into the darkness. Several chairs surround a wooden table that stretches nearly the length of the room. Wooden dishware and gold candelabras are neatly arranged on the table, and standing behind which is that young woman in alabaster as he takes her to a seat at the head of the table. Taking a seat himself and sitting her next to him, he looks up at all of you and beckons you to sit.
Tins will sit across from the woman.
Durango's sitting at the table, like politely close, but definitely in a straight line to the door.
Yeah, Ash will go around and sit like this spot right here. keeping his eye on the door and staircases.
So, a story. What kind of a story would you like?
Well, I'd like a lot of stories. I'd like every story I can get from this place. I want to know everything about St. Wachovia. I'd like to know the story of the people here. This has gotten more and more curious by the moment, if I'm being quite honest.
By curious, I assume you mean the Wainwrights outside.
The who's it, what's it?
The individuals you met, Otto and his brother.
The spider and the spider one with the wings, yeah?
Another unfortunate family member. It is a regret of mine that I have done this to them, although they required penance for sins. It's unfortunate now that I must keep them here, prisoner, but their madness needs to be contained. You see, it is a disease that they suffer from, of the mind.
What kind of
Madness?
disease of the mind?
Again, the kind that makes them unsuitable for life in the outside world, we'll say.
This sounds like quite a tale, and perhaps should you tell it in its entirety, even though these unfortunate shall not leave their walls, their tale shall live on through the great Durango Fortescue.
Yeah, you must forgive me, my pride here. Well, let us speak of something else. Let us speak of Vasilka. Yes, look at it. Such a grand creation, is she not? The Morning Lord, in his perpetual grace, has bid me to free this land of Strahd's curse. And to do that, I have created this masterpiece to serve as his bride.
What?
It is my belief that this will be our salvation.
Okay. And he pulls out one of a portion of that ration. He pulls out a short meat stick and starts. What? I'm failing here. I'm sorry.
What Mr. Tens means to say is what an interesting tale, and we look forward to hearing it in its entirety. And he gives Tens a very pointed look, much like the one he gave Ash earlier, as discreetly as he can.
He sees it and just ignores it.
Well, how much of Strahd's curse are you aware of? The story, the tale of how the devil himself came to rule this forsaken land.
Well, I
Only
remember.
what we have pieced together in our travels, but it seems a multifaceted tale.
Indeed. But it was this search for this love, this arena. So, with the Morning Lord's guidance, I have created this vessel to rectify Strahd's curse, to free this land of its unholy influence.
And how will it do that?
Well, you see, it's simple. The Strahd himself is a victim, his lost love, and that is what cursed the land, this love that he had for Arena that was unrequited. But Vasilka here will be the perfect vessel, the perfect bride for the demon.
In what way?
Well, she will take the place of Irina. She will not age, she will not die. She will be ideal, and in thus the curse will be lifted. This is what the Morning Lord has shown me.
But how do
It's-
you know that that she will be what he's looking for?
Well, the answer is simple. It is faith. That my God has shown me the right path.
He
That's
looks,
better.
he looks away from the guy and looks straight at Cole with this look of bewilderment, like, the fuck?
Do I think this guy is really like a priest of Lathander or a priest of anybody, or is he just some nutter?
Make an insight check.
This guy is giving me the heebie-jeebies real bad. Probably supposed to. It's working. 12.
He's very difficult to read. I mean, his face is almost stone, is stone-like in its complexion, and the features are, again, while handsome, are almost plastic in some essence. So it's very hard to get any sort of read on, or any ticks or anything that he's lying. And even as you question it, and your mind starts to race on what could possibly spurn this or madness, it's he seems to turn to you and stare through you as if he can see exactly what it is that you're frightened of, and his response is a single smile. My friends, I promise you I mean no one harm. I am here as a conduit. I am a simple, holy man in search of an answer, a cure, and it is one that my God has provided for me. Now, I'm sure our paladin here would understand this. Some of you, it may be difficult to comprehend, but the Morning Lord has shown me that this is the path to salvation.
Cole's stand up. Listen. Yeah. Lathander be praised and all. I don't recall in scripture nowhere that the Morning Lord being okay with any sort of ill-gotten body or amalgamation. Not that I don't want to believe. And as he says, as he just sort of holds the shield up and looks very, very intent in the faith. I'm just going based off of scripture, mate.
You can see he stares at you, and his eyes seem to almost pierce through you. This cold blue. You understand above any here that sometimes the ends have to justify the means.
His expression drops.
So, what made Lathander give you the answer and not one of any of the other abbeys in the last couple thousand years? Or abbots, rather.
Abysses?
Who is to say how gods do what gods do? To them, 1,000 years is a blink.
No, I heard the same thing about Strahd once. I think.
So it's said.
I'm curious. And he looks at the woman. Do you speak?
He smiles and looks back. Unfortunately, no, she does not speak.
Hey, does she communicate?
But she
at all?
understands you.
That's not what I'm asking. Does she have a form of communication back?
We are teaching her writing at the moment, and the finer points of etiquette, but at the moment, we have not mastered speech.
This music is simply enchanting, no? My new friend, you must tell me, who is playing such beguiling rhythms?
Well, that is Cloven. He is another one of the Rainwrights. He is particularly gifted. His demeanor far surpasses his brethren, but he helps me with them.
You must forgive
As
my
well,
rudeness.
we are attempting to teach our young Vesalka here how to dance, for she does have a wedding to prepare for.
Oh, right. DM, is there anything that I can see of her stitching that's like? Is it two-tone different colors? Is it like two tones of flesh? Is it very meticulously done? Is it done in some semblance of like almost arcane or archaic nature that I can
Make
see?
a perception check.
Okay. 17.
17. So it does seem, again, it is meticulous, right? The flesh is it's not multicolored. There's no discoloration to it. It really does give off the impression of a seamless transition minus the stitching. And even that is, while a physical aspect of it, there's definitely arcane. Make an Arcana check, actually, while we're at it as well.
Hey yo, I'm good at that too.
You sure?
Got a natural one. 6. I'm new to it.
Womp womp.
Yeah, so you're not completely certain as to what the spell work would be or how this how you could do this, although realistically the nature such spells could exist. I mean, it's not
Necromancy.
implausible. Yeah, necromancy is a thing, exactly.
I'm curious. You call her your creation. Was she made? Was she dead beforehand? Was she like, I can't, considering I can't speak with her, you have to speak for her, I guess, in this scenario.
Yes.
So,
No, I appreciate your fascination and your curiosity. It is a fairly incredible work that I've done. But yes, she is a construct, like a
robot.
golem, like a golem. I don't know what a robot is, but a golem crafted of flesh and bone.
It would seem that those under these roofs are witness to many gifts. You must forgive my rudeness, my host, but I simply must know where this music is coming from. And Durango springs to his feet and, as quickly as he can, but still being graceful about it, he's going to follow his ears towards where that music's coming from.
It is so the music is coming. It seems to be emanating from somewhere on the second floor. The abbot quickly jumps in front of you and says, let me summon him, although bear in mind that his appearance is a little shocking, as is all the Wainwrights here.
Forgive
Cloven.
my candor, my friend, but the great Durango Fortescue is not sensitive to appearances. And he kind of
Excellent.
gestures to himself.
So,
A virtue unto its own.
But
where? Go ahead. Sorry.
It would be heartbreak to interrupt this melody. Please continue hosting in your hall. I am sure I can find my way around.
So with that already, he's just sort of pushing you out of the way. He just calls for Cloven. The music stops for a moment as this figure comes rushing down the stairs.
While that was happening, would they have been away from the table? Like, how far away was this whole incident going down?
We'll say here.
So while he's distracted with that, I'm gonna slip on over to his drink cup and see if there's anything inside of it quick.
There's wine.
And I'm gonna pop this cork off of this poison vial and dump it in his wine.
Okay. So coming down the stairs is a squat creature. There are, and at first the sight is odd to behold. It is a smaller human, a little over 4 feet in height, with 2 heads. One of the heads, a bearded adult, the other one a small child. One of its appendages is this claw-like crustacean, almost lobster-esque claw, as it grasps the neck of a violin, a viola. As it bounds down the stairs,
Yes, Abbot. What? Oh,
and almost embarrassed, he sort of shuffles this one bare leg behind like, again, it's like the paw of this massive bear, out of it, and puts his claw behind himself.
You wish for me to continue to play?
Yes, Cloven, our guests are captivated with your song. Please continue. And he eyes the rest of you quickly before you see that clawed hand once again appear, gripping the instrument as he resumes playing, and he plays masterfully. Right, these his head sort of bobbing, the fully the sort of this patchy haired male face with these goat-like horns, these stubby little horns that are protruding from it, while the left one is sort of cherubic, is kind of humming along with the song.
Durango just watches with rapt fascination.
So, I hate to be rude. This is an honest question. Were they practiced for you? For her?
No, not at all. This is a very different sort of method.
Is he lying?
Make an insight check. It doesn't appear to be. It looks like it's a different, as far as you can tell, looking at the two, it's a very different method. You don't see any stitching or.
So, what do you mean by that then? If it's a different method, what's the difference in the methodology of this?
Well, to create mongrel folk in this fashion, it is a ancient spell work that essentially allows them to draw in the essence of food that they've eaten, and it fundamentally alters their physical form. So you see, it's nothing so grotesque as, splicing animals and people together as you want to think. It is just an alteration of their very being that allows them, like some other races, to change their own appearance based on diet. It's interesting, is it not?
I would love to see your notes on this. For a variety of reasons.
maybe that can be arranged, but I do have a request of your fine group. You see, one thing we have very little of here is business or fine needlework, and I am in desperate need of a wedding gown for our dear Vasilka.
I mean, I'm not amazing. Huh. I can make small disguises from time to time, but I don't know that I can make a full-on gown.
Don't you have those fancy clothes?
Oh yeah, I do. You still have a dress.
Yeah, but mine's not fancy.
Oh, huh.
Unfortunately, and while I appreciate the gesture, we are looking for something a little more worthy of the devil in which she will be marrying. He is a lord of this land, so it requires something a little more exquisite.
And he looks over at Durango. You have an extra finger or two. You think you could do it quickly?
Mr. Tens, despite having extra fingers, as you might say, none of them are suited for such basic toil.
Actually, seen that coming. Do you have any suggestions on who you would like that dress to be made by?
Unfortunately, I have spent a little time outside of the Abbey. He looks down at his cup and over at you, Ash. But I'm certain if, grand adventurers just like yourselves, and he looks over at Durango, and some with such an eye for fashion could perhaps procure something in one of the larger villages, perhaps Barovia or Vistani. Something worthy of our mistress here.
Fine tailors are short supply. We'll see what we can do. And everything Cole's saying is very like clamp jawed, like teeth together, grinding a little bit.
Well, do keep in mind, I do have services I can provide. I can aid you in some ways throughout your journeys. This is a dangerous land, and I do have abilities granted to me by the Morning Lord, obviously, to aid in healing, and he looks over at Tensveta, resurrection, if need be.
What does he mean by that?
Yeah.
Can I insight that one? Because that was very pointed.
Make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save?
Or yeah.
Ash is gonna catch Cole's eye and just kind of like very casually make like the punching fist and.
Is this a charm effect?
It is not.
Damn it.
And in a moment, you start to realize, because you've done this yourself, right? You can feel it almost like a small tingle, as if somewhere in the back of your mind, the abbot is seeing your every thought.
Do you want to know what he's thinking?
No, I don't need to. I already do.
So while they're having that exchange, Durango's gonna hold out his hands for the viola to the third Wainwright, as if like asking to check it out.
Yeah,
And he hands it over.
I assure you, my friend, the great Durango Fortescue knows how to handle such an instrument. And he holds it up and experimentally noodles on it a little bit.
Yeah. So the are you proficient in a violin or anything, or do you want to make a performance check?
I guess just a basic performance check. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not proficient in violas.
15.
That's-
Yeah,
that is
it's
not a
interesting,
performance
right? Because
befitting.
he hands the instrument over with the bow, and the bow itself is you have a basic understanding because it's very similar to your lute as far as finger placement. The bow itself makes for an interesting addition to the process. So you sort of mimic some of the movements that he made with it, but it's unforgiving. But you managed to eke out something that's barely passable. That's passable. Yeah.
Well, my friend, your talents are quite self-evident. This is quite an instrument, and your talents are every bit up to the task of playing it. And Durango's kind of just running his finger down the soundboard on the viola, and as he's doing it, as discreetly as he can, he's gonna just try and scratch into the finish that infernal character for the muse.
Make a sleight of hand check.
This is a good time to be great. We could probably. I'm feeling lucky. Let's do it, boys. Yeah, I'm feeling lucky. Let's burn a point.
Don't be
Is that
silly.
plural?
Still good.
Every time, every time.
Bruh.
I don't know why you took that.
Bruh.
It just.
An act of masochism, evidently.
Oh my god.
Yeah, of course.
I think they notice.
The abbot looks up, and it stands up, and what are you doing? Why would you bring such a grotesque malevolence into our place of worship?
My friend, whatever could you mean? And Durango does his best to feign ignorance.
And you can see now as he starts to glide over to you, those eyes that were that light blue start to turn to this almost gold.
Tins would like
radiance.
to stop him if he can, like put a hand out and just be like, "Hey, he's odd. I know."
He sort of sniffs the air for a moment. Not
You're-
odd.
You're also
tainted,
somewhat
evil.
odd, aren't you? Tickling the back
can
of my
feel
brain.
it.
You are not the first to say such things of the great Durango Fortescue at first appearance. I assure you, though, the traits of my ancestry are not inherent to my being. Only the exterior.
He glares at you with these radiant eyes, Durango. And for the rest of you, you watch in this moment, this figure drops this facade. Right? His form seems to shimmer and shift in place. The temperature in the room rises just a bit. You can feel the heat coming off of him as suddenly the robes depart to reveal as these massive wings spread out. This radiant form illuminates the entire room as you see this angelic being suddenly stand before you. I will forgive this trespass. But I would implore you in the future to think more clearly of your actions here in my house, this house of the Morning Lord. Do we understand, Mr. Fortescue?
As the light touches him, Durango kind of reflexively winces and chokes on a hiss, like he's trying to catch a reflex. I assure you that such misunderstandings in the future, my friend, shall be avoided. Kind of looks at Cole very, very nervously.
But Cole know of any...
Make a religion check.
Yeah. Any sort of visage or... Yeah.
Ash is going to get Tenz's voice in the back of his head.
Shite rolls today.
Mm-hmm.
9.
As he just says, get ready to grab the girl.
Yeah, with a 9, you know, obviously you're familiar with, in particular, Lathander implores, you know, various beings. Although it's fairly rare that they're just on, you know, on the material plane, right, and not in Elysium with, you know, serving his army. So it's, you know, some sort of diva or angelic being, but other than that, you don't really have too much information. Other than, you know, it's. You know,
does it feel like it
exists?
It exists? Does it feel like knowing what I know about Lathander and knowing what I know about the Order? This feels like a bastardization, right? There's no way.
It doesn't actually. You feel the radiance.
Sniffing the air and everything. I'll burn the.
Yeah, a celestial.
I just shoot Tenz a glare and just go.
And in that moment, he looks over at you, Cole, and resumes the form again once it is resumed to that handsome young abbot. Apologies. But you have to understand. This is a holy place, one of so few. Strahd will use any method he can, and he glares over at Durango again. To lure malevolence and evil, it's drawn to this place. To this stinking valley. Festers and grows. We cannot allow it to seep into these very walls. Do you understand?
Cole just glaring at him and sort of speaking for everyone. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. Well, we all get it. Well, this has been entertaining. I'm gonna step outside.
Will I be able to count on the rest of you to assist us in procuring what we require?
I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as you're making it out to be. How long until she's ready for him?
He looks up and down, and he looks over at her. But I think it will only be a few more months, just a few more months of study and training, and she's coming along very well.
Let me ask, why is she stitched up? Why is she having to relearn these things?
Because I have resurrected her in this form. One that is fitting, one that assumes what I have come to learn is the guise of Strahd's past love.
Does she look like Irina?
Now that you're looking at her, she does, yeah. I mean, there's some obvious differences, but the hair is the same color. The skin is, although paler, is similar height and size. All of it's very similar. Yeah.
You must excuse the reluctance of my companions. Surely in our travels it should not be that difficult to come across a garment. And he looks pointedly at the remaining members of the party.
Excellent. Well, then I believe we can help each other. And they will sing your names when we finally rid this curse from the land.
Durango just nods very diplomatically, being very familiar with that exact promise.
Well, we have...
Just as a note, while outside, Cole's gonna sort of make his way around and look for the nearest, conglomerate.
Conglomerate, you mean?
Oh, yeah, whatever these... Wainwright, yeah.
The nearest one you can find is the one that is chained up to the post. I don't know where Cole went. He went all the way out there.
Oh yeah, wrong way. Yeah. Well, just as a note, I've got one more ration. Just gonna start tossing out little food.
You can see the spider-like face as it grabs the food and just greedily starts to eat it.
That's it.
Well, again, bring me the dress, and we will be able to assist you in your travels. Otherwise, is there anything else that I can provide for your group?
Yeah, I've got. I'm obviously you're somewhat of a more powerful being than anticipated. He blinks a few times, still trying to get blink the bubbles away from it being right in his face. So I don't know if you're aware of how do you feel about fortune telling? It's not a question.
It's often is dependent on the source. Of course, evil beings will utilize treacherous methods to manipulate individuals through these tellings. Sometimes dark pacts can be made, and he looks over you again, Durango, to achieve such powers, and sometimes gifts are granted by gods or divine intervention. So it's, I guess it would be dependent on the source,
So,
Mr. Sensveta.
He's gonna pull out the sun sword and light it, but not in a threatening manner. Just have it there and available for him to look at as he just says, So, we had a bit of a journey through Barovia so far. It's been interesting to say the least. And it all started with a reading of the cards from a Madame Ava. And I don't need your opinion on her, if I'm being completely honest. The fact of the matter is, that fortune telling has led us to a few different things that would be ideal in helping you get your goal, including this holy symbol. And he like nods towards the woman and just says, there was something about a woman who is more than the sum of her parts being of great help.
Interesting. And what was the source of this information?
I just told you it was Madame Ava. I didn't want
Madam
your
Ava,
opinion.
I'm sorry.
On her.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want your opinion on her, frankly. And he puts the sword away.
All these Vistani are criminals, interlopers, dogs to Strahd, not to be trusted.
Sure,
But-
but why would they lead us to powerful artifacts that have been helpful along the way?
It is a question I unfortunately do not have the answer to, Tensveta. However, it would appear in this instance that perhaps fate has guided you to the right direction as my creation. It is my belief as well that my God has put me here to create her and destroy this curse. Perhaps it is all connected.
I don't think I asked this question yet. Why do you think that he's wanting a bride? If I asked that question already, I'm sorry. I'm easily distracted.
It is the nature of the curse, now that he was unable to unite with his lost love.
He's gonna give Ash a look, and he'll hear in the back of his mind, do I mention Irina?
Ash is just gonna straight up give just a subtle nod or a shake of his head, like, "Don't you fucking dare."
How do you know it's Irina that he's after? Like, where did you get that story? I've heard nothing of this up until this point about him wanting to marry a woman named Irina.
No, his lost love is Tatiana.
Oh.
Although word has reached me that he believes Irina, the daughter of the Burgermeister in Barovia, to be the reincarnation. Yes, I have met the girl once. They traveled here many years ago with her father at the time and her younger brother, but they were children.
Well, if you've met them, why didn't you just consign her to her fate? If you believe that this is what needs to happen to lift the curse.
It was not the message that was sent to me from above.
Could you detail that out to me in, like, point by point real quick?
To try to detail out to you the communion between myself and the Morning Lord would, unfortunately, not be a story worth telling, and or one that you would comprehend.
Well, I'd like to try. How do you know?
I appreciate your curiosity. But some things will still just have to be answered by faith.
Faith. I have faith in no one, so you're not giving me any in you either, so we're clear.
Well, it is up to you whether you decide to help me in this endeavor or not. It is not a requirement, but it would be a benefit.
Oh, do you hate ravens? Because there's a bunch of scarecrows.
It is better for appearances to keep out on welcome guests.
Can I roll insight on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm so weirded out.
That's 7.
That's a 12.
Bruh.
Rolling hot
Yeah,
tonight,
it's-
boys.
Honestly, I mean, he seems to be, although very self-righteous, very honest in what he's saying. He doesn't appear to be trying to mislead you or make any lies or tell any lies. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a feeling of double speak that I'm getting that's upsetting. Well, I guess he looks at Durango. You know finer things. Perhaps we can find someone that can make a dress.
The discerning eye of the great Durango Fortescue cast upon garments. This is no large task for myself. Surely we could find something as we travel the land.
Yeah. And he's gonna give the girl one last look. What did she are her facial expressions changing at all during this conversation? Or is she just like stone faced, just watching the conversation go back?
She is watching it, although the expressions aren't particularly changing. The eyes are bouncing back. She's following the conversation.
God, I wish I hadn't popped my detect thoughts so early. But now I know. Next time we come back. Or do you know if is there a seamstress here in town, or do we actually have to go back to? Fine.
Perhaps you could speak with the Burgomeister's wife. She has an eye for fashion.
That's true. She's very sweet as well. I've run out of snacks. Okay, I'm done here. And he just gets up and kind of meanders his way back out into the courtyard.
Before they, before he makes his way out, before anyone makes his way out, during the time feeding the spider, whatever else it
Spider
was.
Bat boy.
Spider Bat, yeah,
Spider Batman.
Spooderman.
Spatterman.
Just sort, and just gonna keep feeding until the ration is gone, and just go. Any better? You look a little better. Like that, he might have a bit of trouble responding, but did you want to be like that? Just sort of give me like a little wiggle of the finger if you can't speak.
It begins to move those mandibles, and the sound comes out as a series of like clicks and grunts and almost like bird calls, but nothing audible from a language perspective.
If someone would set you free out of this town, would you take it?
Sort of hunches back towards the post.
You won't be here.
Those spider-like eyes just kind of blink and look up at you.
All right. Stands up, dusts his knees off, throws the rest of the container of the ration over. Not getting too close. I know what someone like that could do. Just remember, if you need it stopped, remember the name Cole Mavvin. You can communicate it. Yeah, just pushes himself off his knees and and dusts off and walks back towards the door of the dining area.
Ash will be following very quickly on the heels of Tensveto to get out of there.
Yeah, Durango's gonna give a dramatic, if rushed, bow and make himself scarce.
Tins will stop at the door and just turn around and be like, I'll see you soon.
Forward to it.
Good day.
All of you gather back out in the courtyard, and again, the sun is still high in the sky. It is relatively, it's roughly around noon at this point, bearing down into the courtyard itself. What are you doing?
We buying into this shit?
Let's take a walk.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'd like to go speak with the Burgomaster's wife. Get some more snacks.
Okay. So as you pass the two gatehouses, the individuals poke their heads out and then poke them back in.
As Ash walks by whatever one is smaller, he's gonna go grab one by the front of the shirt and just throw him up against the wall. What sins did you commit to become whatever the fuck it is you are right now?
Our family committed many atrocities at this abbey. We attempted to rob it some time ago, and subsequently were transformed into this. And we serve the abbot now. We serve the Morning Lord.
If you're smart, you'll run. I'll release him and walk out the gate.
As that iron gate creaks open again, the Abbey just looming behind you. You begin to make your way back down the hillside to the quiet town of Kresk. The path down the hill again is gently cobblestoned, although broken and in disrepair. It is slightly treacherous and takes a bit of concentration as you continue to make the journey.
On the way down the hill, Ash is gonna pull up next to Cole. What the fuck was that?
You, my friend, just witnessed a celestial.
Are they all so fucked up?
Not to my knowledge.
This is something that your God condones. Then I can see why maybe you don't adhere.
Well, thing is, he doesn't, does he? What god of the morning is okay with making unholy abominations? Punishment or no? And the thing that bothers me is that all they could do for Lucky is send some old dusty bones, right? But here he has a personal messenger. Why does this Abbott get the treatment? Why does this town get the treatment if Lucky gets left over, eh? Listen, me and the Morning Lord have our differences. I ain't sending people like that.
Gonna do anything about this?
Well, we gotta kill him, right?
Beautiful.
Did you see these baseless accusations he throws at the great Durango Fortescue? Ha! And he looks at them as if trying to gauge their reaction.
Insight check.
Ash isn't gonna insight check you, but remembering previously that you didn't have this loot and now you do is gonna give you his signature eyebrow look.
I'll roll an 18.
All right, screw it. I got another point. We're gonna try this one more time. Gotta roll them dice, baby, right? Deception.
Oh!
Yeah, it's Durango. He's hard to read. He always has been.
Always.
Very practiced in his demeanor.
There's one of two things. I think he's lying. Or at least I don't think he thinks he's in the wrong. But if Rythander has such a weak influence here, how could this Celestial know? How could he possibly have any sort of connection? How could he possibly know if he's actually in communication with his lord? Strahd rules this land, not Rythander. I'm on his own if he's talking to anybody, it's Strahd.
Didn't we hear from one of these people that this abbot has been around for 1,000 years?
Well, they're Celestials, mate. They live a long time.
Sure. But are they secluded by themselves for 1,000 years at a time?
It's the fact there's a Celestial in this place. Period. It's fucking weird, mate.
Well, it's clear he's lost the plot.
I think
Whether
he
that
truly
be-
I think he believes what he's saying.
Yeah, well, many a madman believe what they say.
The fairest among them, the most grotesque. It is fit for song.
Ash is gonna double check around, make sure that nobody else is around besides the group. Like, he's looking back at windows and like the whole 9 yards, see if there's any sort of visual connection with. Oh,
Yeah, make a perception check.
You love that 7. That's like your favorite
yeah,
number.
I guess 12.
Reaching the bottom of the hill, you can still see the Abbey at the top. But for the most part, you're surrounded by woods and forest as the road it reaches the tip of the mountain. There's a house directly in front of you, several hundred feet, but you don't seem to be in plain sight of anyone.
I thought we'd go back at night. Ain't got that many people. Half those yahoos are probably gonna be asleep anyway. See if we can maybe get a jump on them.
Mate, we're gonna need more than the element of surprise of this one, I think.
Then you better start praying.
That ain't gonna work either, mate. Like I said, me and the Morning Lord ain't on terms.
Well, this might be your way back in.
Cole just puts a hand on Ash's shoulder and goes, "Yeah, sure."
I don't know. I'm not religious.
You're better off that way, mate. You know, these things like that. Whatever. I'll keep my mouth shut. What's the crow situation looking like?
That's right.
Make a perception check.
17.
As you begin to walk back through the hill, so as the hill breaks, right, and you've settled into that the sort of top flattened part that the city lies on, you can see that massive stone wall that wraps around the village behind the trees. There are still several ravens. They're always somewhere, but you can see them perched on the wall watching.
Within sight of the ravens, Cole is going to take out that amulet of Ravenkind out of his jacket inside pocket and slowly take it out of the cloth and look at it, and while making eye contact with whether it seems like the most prominent, most staring, whatever one seems the most imposing, I guess. I'm gonna slip it on.
You see one of them take off into the air, circle around once or twice, and then fly south. After a little more walking, you reach that town square, that modest crossroads where the gate is standing tall to the wall to the south. You see the Burgomeister's house, and there's a bit of commotion at the front door as his wife Anna is rushing out. She catches you, and with a gentle smile, she seems excited. Oh, it would appear we are about to have a new villager, and my presence has been requested.
I thought you didn't let outsiders in.
No, not that kind of guest.
Who's baby?
Mm-hmm. It would appear that the child is is coming now, but Demira Yelensky is the woman's name, the mother. But come, if you wish.
It is a most fortuitous event, my friends, no?
What sort of birth wouldn't be blessed by the presence of Fortescue's finest? And, takes a pose, jacket cuff, the deal, flicking the tails.
Yep. So you follow her. She brings you to another small house. There are several women inside. You can hear the shouts of the young lady who is giving birth. The cottage itself is modest. And in the room is a local midwife, as far as you can tell. She seems to be engaging with the mother in attempting to move along the birth. She's a elderly woman who, although small in appearance, seems to beguile a strength there. And as she sort of turns, she says, "Well, finally you've arrived. The baby is coming any moment now." You can see that Anna begins to grab the other women. She takes them into a small corner of the room as the birth is happening, and they all begin to pray a soft this soft, unified prayer to the Morning Lord, a song you've heard many times, Cole. And after...
Almost out of habit, I'll take a flask of the holy water I've got. Trace a circle around the bed.
The midwife smiles at you and... We have not had a priest here in some time.
Not priest, mate, but close enough.
Well, please stay out of the way.
Nope, sorry.
In a few more moments, after several minutes, the of pushing and shouting and loud praying, a child is born. A baby boy. But no sound is made. And although you can see that the child is alive and well, the midwife furrows her brow and hands the child to the mother, who smiles down. And, yeah, your son is very healthy. And yes. Anyways, I must be going. And while the mother coddles the infant, the midwife begins to clean herself up and turns to Anna. Thank you for blessing the event, and of course for bringing not the priest to assist. Of course. Anything we can do to help with, oversee these sorts of events. Is everything all right? Oh, yes, it is fine. But I must be going.
I'll see you out.
And as she gathers her things and steps out, you step outside with her into the quiet village. The women are all congratulating the new mother on the inside. And
before she gets too far away, I'm gonna spin her around. What's wrong? This isn't the first birth I've been to.
The child has no soul. It's very sad.
Thanks.
She nods and just continues to walk.
I'm just gonna hang outside. Wait for everybody else. Just kind of post up next to the door.
Tins didn't go inside. He's not about birth. She's just sitting there snacking on whatever ration he's pulled out.
It's another one of those soulless folks that Strahd made.
Huh?
Wait, did we know that in character, or was that something you?
Oh, I don't think you know that in character.
Okay.
No.
Never mind. I'm talking shit. Disregard.
As long as I'm not the only
There was-
crazy
Oh my
one,
god,
right?
meta! Oh my god, meta! Oh my god, meta!
There's a lot of blood. I'm a little thrown off right now.
A few moments later, Anna comes out, and she smiles at all of you. Well, that was exciting, and it's always nice to know. Apparently, you've brought good fortune with you to Kresk this evening. So, anyways, how have you enjoyed the town?
Who are the Wainwrights? Wayne's World. Who's the Wayne's World?
The Wainwrights. I am not familiar, unfortunately.
I had the accident. Party on. Yeah, sorry.
How do you on Ash?
You think your husband would be opposed to having us look through some records, see if we can find anything?
You read my mind.
I don't think so.
It was just a
Why-
family
what's-
name we found that was associated with the Abbey. We were just asking folks around, and
Oh,
It's just a
peculiar.
name. See if we can figure
Did
more
you
about
did you
him.
venture to the Abbey? I've not been.
Oh, we did.
It was
Interesting.
quite the surprising place.
Well, what is next for all of you?
First. No, go ahead. By all means.
Well, you were kind enough to let us stay last night, and I know you said there wasn't much as far as accommodations in town, but we may be here a few days. Is there recommendation of lodging?
Unfortunately, no. But you're welcome to stay with us.
I wouldn't want to oppose, ma'am. You know, I know it's
No
yeah,
opposition. Again, it's nice. It's nice to have some liveliness to the home.
Your hospitality and generosity would know no bounds, it would appear. I assure you that we shall make it an entertaining stay for our hosts. And he gestures broadly at his companions.
of course.
Naturally.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I've fully recovered from the previous evening, but again, it is nice. Ever since Elia's death, it's nice to have voices in the house.
When you put it that way, it sounds creepy.
Sorry.
When you've raised as many children as I have,
ma'am,
it's sad to hear home go quiet.
out of curiosity, what did she look like?
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, your daughter.
my son.
Sorry, your son. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. What did he look like?
Much like his father, tall, little thinner, curly brown hair. Why do you ask?
No reason. He just trying to get a lay of the land and figure out who's who. You know how it is. We're a bit strangers, so just trying to get a better picture.
Interesting. Well, I should be back to the house to prepare supper, if you will be staying.
Please, I'm starving. I've been famished, and he's like sitting there, like munching on another ration still. I need more.
Okay. As you all follow the Anna back to the Burgomeister's manor, she has a pretty meager lunch, obviously not prepared, set out for you, as she begins to work on supper with the just the two servants that they have.
Tens is gonna like try and have some idle conversation with everyone because that's what he does. But he's gonna try and catch some time with Anna for a moment and just say, do you have any of your old keepsakes from your wedding? It's an honest question.
From my wedding,
Why not?
I don't believe so. It was it was so long ago. I believe. No, why do you ask?
And he kind of looks around kind of awkwardly for a moment, like taking a bite out of something. And he just says, there may be a wedding in the future for a friend of ours. And he looks at Anna. Does she look like she might have been a similar size whenever she was younger?
She's a little shorter, but and it's hard to tell because of age, and she's a little grown in,
She's had
compared to
polite,
the
very polite of you.
yeah.
Very polite.
Oh yeah, we. And do you know of any good seamstresses, maybe? Or would you be willing to donate your old dress, perhaps?
Again, I don't believe my dress would be. I don't think I still have it. Unfortunately, we had to make quite a bit of room for the children. But I do know a dressmaker in Vallaki.
Oh. Ooh.
It's a shop that I remember visiting some time ago. What was the name of it? Anyways, I can't remember the name, but very talented.
Well, if you can give me that name, that'd be great. I'd love to speak with them. We need a dress, my friend.
Well, I'm sure I could find it. If we were there again, perhaps I could go with you. Perhaps we can make a trip of it.
Are you allowed?
Could
to
be
leave the
fun.
walls?
It could
I
be
would
fun.
love to take you to Vallaki.
I think it's a good, wonderful idea. I will address it with my husband this evening.
Okay. And he's just gonna like occasionally pick at whatever they're eating, or whatever they're making, snack as they're cooking.
Yep. So all around you, the house is a bit of a bustle. Dimitri is still in his office, comes out to grab a little bit of food, sees all of you, and says, "Oh well, back so soon. How did you find the Abbey?"
It was weird.
Weird, you say?
Yeah.
Tens isn't used to sort of early establishments, and I sort of like knee him in the shin quick, and I hit.
How? You're gonna have to stop hitting me.
He's wasn't necessarily the most polite to the abbot, unfortunately. But don't you worry, I'm working on teaching him some respect.
I was just
You
curious.
were horribly rude.
In what manner?
I'm gonna give him like the mother death stare. Like,
it doesn't work on me.
and he wonders why I have an issue with the elf.
Well, I have a bit more work to do for the evening, but will you be joining us for dinner?
Yes.
Excellent. I look forward to it then. And Anna mentioned that you wish to accompany her to Vallaki to purchase a dress.
If she wants to get out of town for a bit, keep her safe.
Well, I
Would you like
appreciate.
to go?
Well, I appreciate that you are quite talented in your own right. I cannot condone my wife traveling these roads. In Vallaki is even itself a dangerous place.
What if I gave her a disguise?
Afraid not.
This is party pooper, and he's just gonna focus on his food.
What do you know of the Wainwrights?
The Wainwrights.
Yeah, when we were at the Abbey, it was a name that kept popping up.
It's a name I haven't heard in some time. There was a family, mountain folk, primarily. Lived outside the village. Used to just be bothersome, would steal chickens and farming tools and things like that. And, they're more of a nuisance than anything. Why do you ask? I haven't heard of them in decades.
Yeah, like I said, it's just a name kept popping up at the Abbey. Apparently, your story kind of tracks with what we were hearing up there too. So maybe they left an impression on the Abbey.
Interesting. Or did they do something? Have they caused trouble at the Abbey again?
I mean, again, I guess we just heard the one story.
No, well, they are always sort of, again, they're just common thieves, just inbred and slow, you know. But they would steal food. I mean, anything that wasn't locked or pinned down, they would attempt to, take for themselves. But again, they haven't been a problem for quite some time. We assumed that wolves or mountain folk or anything else in this land had taken its course with that.
Well, you're probably right. Like I said, they haven't made them seem like they were the, biggest trouble they had.
Well, it's probably accurate. They, we don't see much trouble here, thankfully.
What do you suppose that is?
High walls and higher standards. I believe the first evening you asked why we don't let anyone in. Just anyone, yes?
Yeah.
Seems to bode well for keeping the town safe.
Thank you for another night of hospitality.
Awesome. I'll be with you shortly for dinner.
As soon as he's out of earshot, Ash is gonna spin around. Hey, Cole, you gotta tell him what's going on.
No, we don't.
He has a right to know.
We can tell him after we're done.
Does that mean we're actually doing something about this?
Well, I am. I don't know if you are.
Count me in.
You wish to
Self-right.
return and face that thing?
Cole,
Self-righteous pricks don't have.
Cole sort of looks
Any
over his
place in this world.
shoulders. Yeah, sorry. Cole sort of looks over his shoulders and just makes sure, everyone appears sort of like out of earshot.
Make a perception check.
Not great. 11.
Yeah, as far as you can tell.
This is now, counting on his fingers, the third person that claims to be a Lythander. I know personally. They ain't no shit about the doctrine. Ain't no shit about what you're supposed to be doing. What it means to be a servant of the Morning Lord. And he keeps going down and starts talking about scripture and different verses and laying the evidence on thick. This is why I have my issues. Exactly things like that. It goes all the way to his own chosen. Listen, mate, Morning Lord don't condone that. I'm not even friends with him no more, and I know the Morning Lord don't condone that. He ain't about making people abominations, he's more about cleansing said abominations with daylight.
If you say that this is a threat which must be faced, you shall face it with the great Durango Fortescue. He, tosses his ponytail back and does his best to look imposing.
I'm so pleased friend of yours. Mate. And Cole sort of now is like standing up, and as he stands up, he grabs onto that amulet of Ravenkind. It don't take an holy man to know what's happening there is wrong.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've seen travesty across all sorts of the land of fuckery. And, that was pretty twisted.
That was alright. It was...
I mean,
It's
it's
a
not
fact.
I've seen similar things in the past. And at least he admitted to the fact that she's a construct and not an actual person. The other people, the Wainwrights, those are definitely people that got fucked, right? Like, like there's no doubt in
They
my
were
mind.
punished. They were punished, mate. But it's...
But what would they punish? Like, they were punished for thievery? Really? That's a bit extreme. Is that the kind of thing you would do to thieves?
Listen, Mike, I'm from Kasata. Kasata is about as strict as you can get as far as religious law goes. We'll put you in a cell.
For how
Put you in-
long?
Depends on what you did. It's sometimes an indeterminate amount of time. Again, lots of issues with the church. But they ain't turn people into abominations. They aren't sewing people together.
So,
And I don't think that Mike Towers a celestial. I don't think he thinks what he's doing is wrong.
I don't think so either. See, this is the problem that I have with institutions. They teach specific things and not typically open-mindedness. Even colleges fuck around with stuff that's stupid from time to time.
Well,
This-
I expect that.
Right. That's kind of what the materialist of this world are fucking bewildering, and that's coming from someone who. Anyway, this is. I don't know if we can stop him, but he already knows that Irina is around. I don't see the harm in allowing him to move forward with his plan. Other than it might get him killed by Strahd himself. Here's the thing. Here's where I'm at with this. This guy is obviously powerful. He blinded me by standing in front of me with his stupid blazing wings for an extended period of time while he glowered at our friend Durango. It was very frustrating, and it took all of every ounce of my self-control to not immediately go into Summer and stab the guy.
That wouldn't have worked out for you quite as well, mate.
I don't think it would have, which is why I did what I did. And he takes a bite of his apple. Here's the deal. If he's as powerful as he seems to be, why is he going out of his way to reunite him with this supposed lost love? That's my question.
You don't think there's any other way? Plain and simple, mate.
But why wouldn't he have another way if he's this powerful, wonderful thing?
Mate, ain't no one here talking to their gods. All of it is Strahd.
So he's a scared child. Got it. Thank you for confirming that one.
He's not a scared child. He don't know what you're talking about. He's lost it, mate. He's lost the plot.
I understand, but he went out of his way to threaten one of the only ones that could potentially help him against Strahd in this matter. He's like, for all I care, the way that we actually get this fake Irina, whatever the fuck her name is, its name, is it even a person anymore? Can't speak. Does it have a soul? And he looks at Ash. Does it have a soul? I don't know. You just found out that they're being born without souls. Are they also? Is that for everyone here? I don't know. Point is, well, actually, there's some semblance of reincarnation there if Irina's still back around. So if that's a lost love, whoa.
Mate, you are completely losing me.
So, if we are to stop Strahd like we are intending, we need to go up there with some semblance of a guise of platitude and patronage, right? Like, we need some semblance of fuckery to hide our true intention. This is a great way to do so. I'm not saying it needs to be done now. I'm not saying it needs to be done in 2 weeks. We have other things we can go and do while that dress is being made. Come back, get the dress handed over. I mean...
Mate, I don't think you understand. That man's dying. That abbot is dying.
That's fine. We can still use the woman.
Fine, whatever. You know,
Okay.
But
Maybe... Hey, well, hold on. Maybe
like, all I care about right now is figuring out how we're taking our angel down. We can figure out what we're doing the woman later. It don't matter.
Why don't we have Strahd do it then?
Strahd would have already done it if he wanted to.
Yeah, if he wanted to, but if we show up with him there, with the woman, we could have them face off against each other, annoy each other for a minute.
Well, here's the thing. Mate. Strahd can read your mind, right? And
So can he.
Celestials can read your mind. Yeah, exactly. So everyone's gonna know what the fuck you're doing, mate.
That's not true. I can read your mind, and I don't always know what you're doing.
Ain't being sneaky. I'm trying to tell you, mate. I don't care what land of fuckery you come from, okay? Unless you've had direct dealings with Celestial. I've never had a direct dealing with Celestial. All I know is
Have you
from
fucked
books.
with an archfey?
What the fuck's an archfey?
That's what I thought.
Listen. All I know, you could do whatever you want, whatever sick, twisted thing you want to do with that afterwards. How we killing the Celestial?
That's what I'm trying to say, is we work with the Celestial while we can, and take it down while Strahd is fighting it, and vice versa.
I don't know why I'm listening to any of your suggestions, mate. Every single time I listen to one of your plans, it's gonna fuck up wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not doing that. Rango, Ash, you got any more ideas?
I am afraid, my friend, that in the matter of these Celestials and the great Durango Fortescue, knows only a legend.
Jens, I'm sorry. I see what you're trying to say. I do. I don't think that's how this one's gonna go down.
Well, you can at least try.
What, you can-
Trying is not the problem. Succeeding is the problem.
If we're here to get rid of symbols or restore symbols to help us be better against Strahd, don't you think it's better to clear out an abbey that is a holy site from the thing that is tainting it as a holy site? If the thing that is to fight Strahd is to get more worshippers of Lathander, how about we open up a big fucking abbey as a worship site to Lathander?
I didn't think that was ever supposed to be the plan here. The plan here was to get the woman, that was it. We've already got a church that's a holy place that is...
Mate, your plan is to get the woman. I don't give a damn about the woman.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying 2 birds, 1 stone. We can rescue her by taking care of the thing.
If you want to fight that thing, be my guest. No.
Ash
Map.
turns away from him, looks back at Cole. I still say we do
Oh,
it at night.
We're killing him, mate. Thing is, there ain't no sneaking up. Tens.
At the moment,
tens.
Anna comes up and she appears suddenly. She says, I didn't mean to interrupt, but dinner is almost ready.
Great.
Oh, and we have another guest.
Oh? Who?
Oh, you'll see.
And he looks at Ash and Cole and Durango and has a mini freak out and runs away.
Mm-hmm.
You must forgive my friend, Mr. Tens. He is not used to seeing such bounty around a table.
I mean, and as you walk out, she smiles, and you walk out. You see that brown-robed, handsome monk standing there with Dimitri blessing the food, who just turns and smiles at all of you. Well, this looks wonderful, Dimitri, and thank you for your hospitality. Oh, and my friends from earlier. And that's where we'll pick up after break. So, thank you everybody for sticking in there with us. Thank you Raiders for popping in. I always love to see the folks from Live from the Apocalypse. So thank you guys so much for joining. Remember to spend your elf eggs. You get we're giving away a motocross game tonight. If you're into that sort of thing, and even if you're not, it's free. I'm sure you get some kind of fun out of it. It's got good ratings on Steam. So make sure you go ahead. We're going to give that out to somebody regardless. So go ahead and get those entries in, and we will see you guys in, give us 10 minutes. All right, and welcome back. So as all of you gather around for dinner, you see now that the abbot has arrived as well. As he smiles as all the food is being set at the table, and he takes a seat. Dimitri and Anna are continuing to speak with him, and he's talking with them warmly. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm positioning myself. Are we actually eating, or like is this pre-meal?
Like the food is being put on the table, so it's everybody's sitting down to eat now.
I'm gonna put myself at the opposite end of the table as best I can from this guy.
I'm gonna sit next to the guy.
Yeah, like both threats, Durango's gonna do his best to keep Cole between them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Face on plate, steak. Oh, this looks like a potato.
Your steak looks like a potato?
No, there was steak and then something that looked like a potato.
Ah, okay. I heard steak looks like a potato.
Yeah, they have potato-shaped steaks here. This is Barovian delicacy.
The steak.
So yeah, and the conversation has been for the most part light, just basic, talking about the Abbey and talking about the town itself, and what's new with the townsfolk. And the abbot then turns to Dimitri and with that same plastic smile. But I must admit, Dimitri, that there is another reason why I've come to visit you. It is, you see, it was my intention and my request that these individuals assist me in procuring a wedding dress, and I'm understanding that they've requested Anna to help them. Yes, but you have to understand, I do not want wrong, noble. Yeah, you have to. Yes, of course, but I don't see, the roads are not safe. You know that, Abbott. It's not, it's not prudent to have her traveling between here and Vallaki. So I understand that. So what I will say to you is that the Lords of Light have granted me a request, and perhaps it will serve as payment for your inconvenience. Well, what possibly could the Morning Lord himself want with offer us? I understand that recently you have suffered a loss. A child. It's incredibly sad. So I will, at the Morning Lord's bidding, I will bring him back to life. You see Dimitri kind of looks at the rest of you for a moment.
Monkey paw shit, man. I don't trust it.
Is it the same method upon which you have your Irina stand in? Or is it another method?
No. This is just divine resurrection. The child has died in the last 3 months, yes? Yes, it's correct. He passed just 3 months ago. Yes, not a problem then. I will simply resurrect him. You see, as he has the conversation, he just continues to cut his food and eat it, not skipping a beat.
Ash isn't eating at this point. He's gonna look right at the Burgomeister. So, answer me this question. If he's had the ability to come down off his high horse and help you out, why hasn't he done it before? I'm not looking at that. Like, I'm phrasing the question to the Burgomeister, but I am staring him dead in the eye.
And he is looking right at you when he says, it is a fair point, and perhaps the relations between myself and the townsfolk, well, it could be better, yes. I will admit that I've been distracted and was unaware that you had suffered such a unfair fate.
And why were you distracted? Why don't you go ahead and tell them?
Oh, I was manufacturing a bride for Strahd himself. The Morning Lord has spoken to me and told me that this is required to help lift the curse on this land. Also, why we need the wedding dress. You can see Anna, and Anna just is staring at Dimitri, and Dimitri's just sort of looking at his food, like deep in thought.
It's not necessary for her to go to Vallaki. It's fine. It's quite all right.
Seems like the Morning Lord can bring back dead people. My apologies for being insensitive. Why can't he just give you a dress?
I see you're not a faithful man, are you, Ash?
I don't have a lot of faith in
There are
somebody who's got a lot of power.
There are rules that need to be followed for these sorts of things, but to resurrect someone who has passed is not beyond the Morning Lord's capabilities. I'm sure Mr. Mavvin knows this as well, yes? Certain individuals blessed are able to perform these kinds of acts. And I am one such person.
Can and should are two very, very different things.
Ash, would you mind passing me the gravy over there? And shoots a glance.
I'm still glaring. And I don't break eye contact. I'll do whatever, but I ain't breaking eye contact.
is such a thing as possible? Of course, you may have Anna's help. I would do anything to have Ilya back.
It's okay if you want Anna to stay. We don't. And he looks at the abbot. We don't necessarily need her to go with us. As long as she can make some semblance of a note, or something to that effect, we can just go to the place that she spoke of before. Really, there's no need for all this tension.
It would be a small price to pay to have our son back.
Then do it without having to take Anna. Like, wouldn't you rather be here for that? Just stay here. And he looks at the abbot. You do the resurrection thing before we leave. We'll go get the dress without Anna. Let her be with her son.
I simply need the dress, so it doesn't matter to me who procures it.
Then that's my deal with you. How about that? You resurrect her son. I'll go get the dress. Because there was nothing that you were going to give me otherwise.
Excellent. Well, I am, of course, very busy. Dmitri, if you wouldn't mind, let's go now.
Insight check. Is he under some sort of altered mindset right now, other than like he just got told that his son?
Make an insight check.
That's 7.
With the
It's at
7.
7.
What the hell? 12.
No, he just. I mean, it's obviously it's a bit of a shock, but it's pretty clear to him that it's not the type of situation you just look a gift horse in the mouth on, right? And you can tell as he puts his knife and fork down, one of the servants brings a jacket, and the abbot stands as well. He says, "Well,
Wait.
yes."
What is he gonna be like when you bring him back?
He looks over at the abbot. Good as new.
Then why couldn't you do that to the girl up at the abbot? At the abbey?
You mean the one that he has sewn together?
Yeah.
Well, I had to manufacture certain parts to be ideal for Strahd.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Unless you're inferring that I kill that young lady that has had the unfortunate curse of bearing the same
How did she die?
essence. Which one?
The girl.
Which?
The one that you intend to
Tens. Tens.
What?
Natural causes, I assure you. All of them. Or unnatural in some cases, but if you're implying that
I'm not making any implication. I'm sorry if it's coming across that way, and I don't mean to be that way about it. It's just...
Tens, you gotta try some of this gravy.
Yes, please.
Burgermeister, I would implore you to take your wife into the other room and really consider if this is something that should be done.
mean, even if there's a chance that it can be done, would we not? I mean, Cole, is this not a miracle you've seen performed before? Is this beyond Lathander's capabilities?
No, it can be done.
Ash, is there no one you wouldn't bring back if you could? If you had this opportunity?
I have
Again.
an idea.
It's whether I should. And Ash will just kind of trail off saying that.
Perhaps the 5 of us should go and do this and bring the sun back. Does that seem more reasonable? And Cole's going to hear in the back of his head. That way, if things aren't the way they ought to be, we can handle it.
Digging into, I guess this is a beat. I don't know.
Well, the more the merrier, they say. I am not opposed to all of you witnessing Lathander's glory in person.
Oh, no, I mean just the 5 of us. Anna, if things aren't the way that we think they ought to be, you don't want this. Trust me.
She just like nods and just stares at Dimitri.
He kind of looks at Dimitri, same face.
If anyone is going to dig up my son, it will be me.
I'm telling you now, I don't know that it's going to be a wise decision.
If there's a chance, I will take it. Whether you wish to come along or not, Tensveta, is up to you.
Oh, I'm going.
And so am I.
He'll hear in the back of his head. This has potential to be scarring if things are not the way they ought to be. And then he'll just drop it.
And with that, he grabs a shovel out of a closet and just heads out the door. The abbot, right behind him, turns, bows a little, and then exits.
Tens will pick up the potato that's left on his plate. Take a bite out of it, just straight bite. I'd like to speak with Anna for a moment. If you guys don't mind going ahead and staying caught up with them, yeah?
Ash is up out of the chair, out the door.
And Durango finishes his wine with like a kind of a resigned sigh and follows.
Yep. Stands up. The plate's clean. It is like absolutely polished clean, by the way. And like the napkin's all folded on top of it. It looks like the plate's never used. Tens, one day you'll learn that you can't talk your way out of everything.
Oh, I know.
I don't think you do.
I do.
He just pats him on the shoulder. Sure you do, bud. Walks out.
Before I go,
Tensveta,
Anna,
do you believe it's real? Is this really happening?
there is potential for this to be both good and bad.
I don't understand.
That abbot is not raising people in the way that you may be hoping. He may come back grotesque and malformed. And
I mean, how
this is
so?
not entirely positive yet. There were things that we saw at the Abbey that were disturbing, to say the least. So, while I know that this may not be a hopeful conversation for you, I do need to know if there's anything that I can do as save your husband to keep him calm if things go wrong. I don't want you to lose hope for your son and your husband in a single night.
Just... I don't fully understand everything you're saying to me. But I will tell you that Ilya was the last, and we are the last of a long Kreskov line that has ruled over Kresk for centuries. Dmitri is a proud man, but it broke him to watch Ilya die. It is, I don't know what would console him if things go wrong. But just keep him safe.
I'll do what I can, but I will make no promises. That abbot is something else. Do what you can to be comfortable this evening. Hopefully, all goes well. You'll have your son back. And he kind of reaches across the table and pats her hand. And gets up, tosses the potato in hand for a moment, takes a bite, and walks on.
Outside, behind the manor, you follow as Dmitri is now. There's a small plot, well maintained. That looks like family grave sites, a small family graveyard behind the home. As you get out, he's already digging, and digging with a focused fervor that, you've only ever seen in people that are committed to a goal or a task. And after an hour or so of digging, you hear that as the shovel hits wood. The abbot gets down into the hole with him. Says, "You've done well. Thank you. I will take care of the rest from here." Dmitri climbs out, wipes his brow, dirt covering his clothes, and continues to stare down at the abbot, not even acknowledging the rest of you.
Enz offers him a roll.
No, thank you. As the abbot begins to go into a chant, you see this glow, that radiant light sort of shine from him down in the grave, as he pleads to Lathander to restore light and to retrieve the soul of this young man and restore him to the world of the living, to his family that loves him. And as this song echoes, it rings in your ears, it pierces for you, Durango. That light crashes down like a beam, concentrated from the sky, as he lays his hands on whatever is beyond the coffin. And a moment later, with surprising strength, he lifts himself out of the hole, and with him is the corpse of a young man, maybe 18 years of age. Except no longer a corpse, just person, breathing as if asleep.
I'm going to pop a divine sense right now. Anything strange or foul coming from young man?
Nothing. Just the celestial nature of the abbot. He will need rest. It may take him some time to acclimate to his surroundings, Dimitri, but your son is back. Dimitri sobs, holds his son in his arms. I cannot word no words. I can't thank you enough for what you've done here. I have greatly misjudged you, Abbot. We are all weak to baser instincts from time to time, Dimitri. But, as you can see, all shadows are cast aside in his light. As he stands up, he looks over at the rest of you. Well, it would appear the four of you have a trip to make. Good evening. And he bows slightly, walks off into the woods.
Actually, only I do, I guess. I'm the one that made the deal, not everyone.
Like we're gonna let you go alone, you idiot.
Yeah.
You are now known as one of Fortescue's finest. I shall not have you slandering my good name across this land.
Never.
Ash doesn't say anything. He just kind of walks off.
Did anything about that? You know, Cole's probably seen this once or twice. Anything about that ring is off? Because from what you can tell, it seemed pretty straight on.
Make a religion check.
Uh, 22.
22. No, he literally cast
Resurrection.
resurrection.
Yeah. And he didn't seem foul at all. Man, it's tricky.
I'll let you think on it, and I'm gonna go after Ash.
Ash will just be sitting propped up against a tree in the dark.
Would you like a roll?
I didn't eat dinner.
Yes.
Snags it.
Tens will sit down on the side of the tree next to him. You alright? That was a lot.
Why him? Why this man? Why his son? Why does he not have to deal with the pain that millions of other people have to deal with?
Odd questions, really? But let's be clear, they're still dealing with that kind of pain. They've been spared one child, not all of them.
Is that all it takes? put a little faith in some crackhead.
Maybe. I've seen crazier. I've seen someone go from being an extra-planar figure to a Theobald. So,
Oh, what?
do you know what a Theobald is?
No.
It's like we can get into the history of this, but there's a lot there for that. It's half giant, half elf, very furry, very cow-like, according to most people. Though they're very gentle.
Oh. Oh.
I'm just saying, there are methods of magic. There are arcane methods, there are natural methods, there are divine methods. But they all take time from you in some form or fashion. That figure has had, apparently, centuries. Others, not so much. And I don't know. I guess, why is it so personal to you?
I had a son. Had.
Yeah, I
being
caught
the
that.
operative word. And Ash lets his facade drop, and it's just his pale form. He had the same thing I did. The locals found out about it. They figured it'd be better just to burn him alive with my wife than let that kind of monster into the world.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm not going to be able to learn how to do that. I don't have that kind of time.
And I'm not asking you to.
I know you're not.
Because here's the realization I just came to. As much as I hurt every single day, you don't cheat death. Doesn't matter if it's wrong. Doesn't matter if it's right. Death needs to be final.
Would it be any solace to know that that child won't be immortal? He's going to
No.
die again.
That makes it worse.
It does, doesn't it?
And that's what I'm saying. Go through the pain once. You live with it. Hope that it doesn't touch you every single day. But, just like my son was killed out of fear by some jackass who thought he ran the world, so too are these people gonna live with more pain because some jackass thought he could control the world.
I don't know that that's entirely true. I don't think that he thinks he can rule the world. It's my job. Look, fairly young for an elf. Most of my family has already chosen their final season. But I'm still experimenting. That said, death is a natural cycle of life. However, would you not give everything to have your family back? Even for a little while.
As much as it hurts to say this, no. Because at this point, I would squeeze them so tight and hold them so close that they wouldn't have a normal life. I wouldn't let them have a normal life because I've lived a life without them.
Oh. It's not like this kid's going to be living much of a life either. He's going to be stuck in these walls.
My point, exactly.
All of them are.
You're all lucky I haven't tried killing them yet. And
Which
Ash
one?
is just... The abbot.
Well, what you're saying, it made me wonder if you weren't going to kill the boy again. And he gets up. We should get back. We have a dress to go get.
Ash stands up. Still haven't rolled out killing him yet either. Changes back to his regular form and heads off.
Where do you head?
Back to the Burgomeister's house.
Okay.
Tins is going to stay in the woods for a minute and process.
The scene at the house is joyous and sad. Anna is beside herself. Their son placed in a bed, still sleeping. Hasn't awoken yet, but clearly breathing and with life. Her and Dimitri just embrace, and the rest of the evening, sort of the servants are taking care of the rest of the cleaning up after dinner, but for the most part, the family is with each other. It's an awkward moment for all of you who are just kind of existing in the same space as this miracle that has just occurred.
Ash is gonna find like a stable or somewhere that's not like the main area where all this is taking place and post up for the night.
Where are the rest of you?
I think Cole would just spend most of his time outside the manor, outside the front doors, getting air. Not trying to spend much time, bothering them. Playing with his new spear, trying to figure out, well, if I were a Celestial, what would I just tossing spears and just running some pretty intense drills that I don't think he's touched in quite a bit. Found a barrel and some crates he's taken out some aggression on.
Durango retires early. He kind of just disappears in the midst of the awkwardness, and when he finds himself alone where they're lodging for the night, he's going to mutter under his breath an infernal and try and make contact with his muse.
Okay, Tensveta.
I think Tins is going to stay away for a little while and make his way up to the gazebo where the lake is, and probably consider working on it and then feel too lazy because he's an autumn, and just like lean up against a statue that's got its hands out reach and just probably just stay there.
Ash. Outside, there isn't. There's a very modest barn set up. A stable roughly big enough for 2 horses. Outside, the night air is cool and cold from that mountain mist. Bits of snow fall in small flakes. You spin. Your eyes kind of dart through the darkness before landing on what suddenly is a figure standing maybe 15 feet away from you.
Can I tell anything about this person?
Through the darkness, it's very difficult to see much at first until it flourishes and that black and red high doubleted cloak, the figure you've seen before, appears. The sharp features, the pale skin, and that black hair, jet black, pulled to the back, just sort of leans against one of the posts not far from you. Well, that was something, wasn't it? You know, your conviction is admirable. But I've always found that it is the lot of the weak and the powerless to manufacture conviction to justify their own ineptitude.
Yeah. This is all you, isn't it?
Oh, that would be easy, wouldn't it? To believe that I was in control of this thing, this agent of Lathander, claiming to act in his best judgment. Yeah, it would be easy to blame me for every sin, for every lack of judgment, for every madness that befell you mortals. But I promise you, this is not me. I am simply enjoying the show.
This might not be directly you, it's still you. Your presence.
Well, it is all me, isn't it? But I will offer you this. If ever you wish to cease your mewling, if ever you wish to have the power to protect the ones you love, to change fate, you simply need to ask me. Tenzeta believes that death is a natural part of balance, but why then do gods not die? Why then do elves live for centuries? It is a choice, and it is not one we need to make.
don't know what you're selling, Strahd, now's not the time. You can either kill me or take whatever it is you're selling and shove it up your ass.
Oh, in time, you will think back on those words. Because death will not come for you, Ash. You are mine now. A prisoner here. A plaything for me until I decide that I am no longer interested in your pathetic convictions.
Ash is gonna stand up, and he is gonna go full Strahd. So it's a Strahd looking at Strahd, and in his Strahd's voice, go ahead. I can't mimic your accent. Sorry. I can't.
Yo, me?
That throws off the whole
me?
scene, but maybe it'll be me just playing you.
See, and this is why I have let you stay around. Entertainment. And in that moment, the form shivers and mist just fills the barn. It chokes you in your form before it vanishes. And once again, you are alone.
He's gonna shift back. I'm gonna fucking kill him. And just goes back and beds down for the night.
And as all of you find rest, Tensveta at the radiant, glimmering lake pool, the edge of a small mountain town, Durango, and the comfort of a newly reunited homestead, coal with sweat caking your brow in the winter and this gentle winter snowfall. That's where we'll pick up next week. So, thank you guys so much. You love the Strahd music, huh?
Oh, it's so good. Just dum, dum, dum. Oh,
I
man,
wanted to enjoy it.
I want a metal remix of it. It's happening.
Yep. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Curse of Strahd. Please make sure you've used your elf eggs. We're going to do that giveaway drawing in just a second. Remember that this month's dice are Gremnik themed from our Tuesday night show. Gremnik is our resident Handseath worshipping cleric. Get in, right? Oath of Indulgence.
I was gonna go with Paladic myself, but you know.
Paladic works. Yep. Paladic works. Very fitting for St. Patrick's Day, and for all of you out there that we will not see this week. I hope everybody enjoys this week, has fun, stay safe, drink a lot of green beer, throw up a lot of green beer, go have a good time, or don't do any of those things. Stay home, do nothing, play D&D, or watch Plastic Cougar live.
Or
We'll be here for you. We'll be here for you. Honestly, even if you drink a lot, just come hang out with us and say silly things to Twitch. But either way, we'll see you guys on Thursday. But if we don't, please stay safe out there. Uber, do all the good, make good decisions.
Or
like
tomorrow.
resurrecting.
Come on, man. You're killing me, Smalls.
I was getting there.
You're killing me.
Tomorrow, of course, is bi-weekly A Sinner's Dream. We pull ourselves out of this dark medieval universe and go into a dark 1940s noir setting. So if you want to see D&D played in a 1940s detective style, come hang out with us. Because if you think Barovia is bad, Kazmar is even more twisted somehow. and even less with even less hope. So.
And a shout out to tonight's winner of the Steam game, XNEX and X Angel. Jeez, tongue twister. Congratulations, you won. What was it, Ben?
That is the official motocross video game that's coming at you right now.
Did you just spell it Xanax Angel?
Yeah, he did.
XNX Angel. Is that not it?
XANX.
Zan's Angel?
Oh, I guess that's not full Xanax. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say Xanax.
Zanx Angel.
Oh, it could be X and X Angel. Like
Yeah.
the X's are supposed to be space. Okay.
Or like
Zan's Angel. There we go. Well, congratulations, you won motocross.
All right, and with that, why don't we have Mr. Mavvin give us a quick roll
Wow.
to find out where we're going.
I can't believe I told Strahd to shove it up his ass.
Yeah,
was
why?
It was a good bit.
Wrong night. It just
14.
caught Ash on the wrong night.
And, well, that's what he does.
That's a 14, so let's figure
I
out
can
where
tell
that's gonna go.
Chuck loved the talk track.
Oh, it was killing me. It was killing me so much.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Kamek, I guess we're going into the Frozen North episode 3.
All right, well, from the frozen north into the frozen north, let's go be loud, make some friends, slap some follow buttons, and we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, maybe Thursday, and definitely next Sunday.